Hello everyone, I'm a Metaslave, and welcome to Chapter 2 of my FE6 RR LTC. Chapter 2 begins by bestowing upon us Merlinus the Convoy and Zeiss the Wyvern Rider. Wyvern Riders usually join in the mid or late game of most vanilla games, so reverse recruitment patches often have them join quite early. Their base strength and bulk are often quite high, though their speed might be a little iffy, and Zeiss is no exception. In normal growth, Zeiss is still quite solid because of his great bulk and strength, but in our 100% growths, his speed also goes up by, well, every level. And that means he'll snowball out of control and later become the run's most important combat unit. Even as he is, he's amazing. He will then also be the unit that most often ferries Karel to the throne when needed. His role can be compared to Shanna's in vanilla. Nime and Diane got their first level ups, killing these soldiers. Well, Diane weakened it for Karel to kill. And this disgusting rig is in order for Karel to survive in a very dangerous enemy phase. He needs to dodge a soldier that has about 90 displayed hit on him, and a hand axe from a fighter. Luckily, because of that +2 speed, he doesn't get doubled by the fighter. Obviously, the soldier will not double him, because they have 0 AS usually. I actually lied, or stressed the truth at least, when I said Douglas did literally nothing. He actually picks up Yoder, and is going to give him to Zeiss next turn. Juno also gets in position so that she can start bringing Karel over the mountains. Unfortunately, Karel only gets +2 HP here, even though I would like him to get +3, since I set the growth to 255. I sadly cannot go any higher than that, so as much as I'd love to give him 300. For those that don't know, his growth is normally 210. And now the Deke squad joined. Deke's replacement is Hugh, who is basically like vanilla Lugh, just much better. He has 10 magic actually, and 8 speed, as opposed to Lugh's 4 magic and 6 speed. There's also Fa, who gets to use her Dragonstone so early in the game, so she's quite goofy, but unfortunately, she and Hugh both don't see long-term use because, well, they're foot units. There's also Garret and Igrene. They're extremely forgettable. Igrene in particular, her EXP is being minimized so that I can go this K route, because she is Shanna's replacement. Merlinus gets the Armor Slayer, which is very key throughout the run, since you do not actually get another one like you do in vanilla. Zeiss is about to drop Yoder over onto this forest, but he has to burn some RNs so that he doesn't die. That archer there makes it so that if too many enemies go for him, Zeiss will die. Luckily, Yoder's chance of death is pretty low because he's on the forest and he's facing a bunch of axe and lance users. That archer in particular needs to attack Yoder instead of Zeiss, because otherwise he might be in range of Karel to kill next turn. So Yoder will take care of him this enemy phase. For the rest of the run, I made sure to hold A when on enemy phases, so you won't have to suffer a slow enemy phase, hopefully. Though, they may be somewhat long, like this one. Nime still does get OHKO by fighters despite her perfect level up, but it doesn't really matter because she's on a fort and they have bad hit rates. It's unfortunate that Zeiss didn't one-round these soldiers, but it doesn't really matter. There's that archer that needs to die. Zeiss's job in this chapter is mostly over, so he'll just be doing some self-improvement. But Yoder needs to kill that archer in order to, well, prevent Karel from being in death range. Yoder breaks his first lightning tome, and as you must have noticed, I had traded him an extra one earlier in the chapter. Juno drops Karel, and Merlinus goes shopping. I buy some javelins. They're very important in the early game, just mainly for the 1-2 range. Unfortunately, they're quite inaccurate in this game, so I occasionally need to rig to actually connect the tosses. I also buy a sword and a lance, but that's, you know, whatever. Dian finishes an enemy off, but again, doesn't matter. Just self-improvement. Nime gets yet another level here. And this should put her out of OHKO range for the future, as enemies will rarely run more than 19 attack. Yoda needs to dodge that, otherwise he'll die. Zeiss gets his first level up, which lets him, most importantly, get speed, but also extra strength and bulk. He's still doubling soldiers regardless, but after a certain point, he'll start doubling non-soldiers as well. Unlike the last boss, Yoda actually can one-round this boss, but he obviously needs to dodge the counterattack. But luckily, it's only a 33. He's just shy of a level up, unfortunately. He does hit C Light, though. He needs to eventually hit S Light, but he has plenty of time to do that. Juno grabs some items from Merlinus, but they're not quite necessary on her. It's just convenient to have it on them. And that is Chapter 2, completed in 4 turns. I will see you next time.